Hello, everyone. Before I start ripping on Patrick Bet-David, I want to acknowledge the respect that I have for his game as a former hustler. But that's also where that respect turns into disgust. No man with a net worth of $100 million should need to be selling hats and t-shirts when he's supposed to be educating you on the news. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. I believe nearly all of his businesses are pay-to-play systems designed for the rich to get richer. Let me show you how. We begin with Minect. Officially released in 2024 during a PBD Live broadcast, Minect claims it is a platform designed for people who have questions only an expert can answer. For instance, let's say you need to see a lawyer, but you're only going to ask him 5 minutes worth of questions. Instead of needing to book him for a full hour, like most lawyers would require, Minect allows you to pay by the minute. But is that why this tool was really designed? To me, it looks more like a money funnel Patrick Bet-David created so that he and the people who go on his show can convince rich people to pay them for access. Let's start by looking at one of the most egregious offenders in this pay-to-play scheme, Candace Owens. She is charging $22,500 for 15 minutes of her time. Just what kind of expert advice do you think Candace Owens would be imparting for that sum of money? It's all about access. Who is seriously able to afford to pay hundreds of dollars for a text message or a 15-second video response? People who are already rich. Let's look at more people who are selling themselves for exorbitant sums. Now, Terrence Howard is a little more reasonable. He's only charging around 50% of what Candace Owens is asking you for, so you only need to pay $12,000 for a 15-minute phone call. What a bargain! It's like I said, you're paying for access, and you need to have a lot of money to begin with. Let's see what other people are charging, shall we? This is Vinny Oshana. He's one of the regulars on the PBD podcast. And while $13 per minute may seem reasonable to you, also why 13? It's kind of suspicious. I literally have no idea what kind of expert advice this man could be parting with. No, this is all about access at $195 a pop. So that's Minect. Let's shift gears and take a look at the insurance company Patrick Bet-David just sold.
I would have even gone so far as to say that I was a fan of Patrick Bet-David a few years ago, until I learned that Patrick Bet-David made his millions running a multi-level marketing company. If you're unaware or unfamiliar, multi-level marketing companies are scams that depend on a mathematically impossible endless chain recruiting scheme in order for you to make money by rising up the ranks of said scheme. Recruit 5 people, who recruit 5 people, who recruit 5 people, and so on. Patrick Bet-David's MLM is called PHP, People Helping People, or People Helping Patrick. Patrick Bet-David is a genius because he made his millions off of this MLM and then used the money to be able to do these interviews and create this content with high-profile people. He then took that content and released it on his own separate channel that had nothing to do with PHP called Valuetainment or PBD Podcast, and built a personal brand off the back of the money that he was generating from the MLM. In multi-level marketing, you have to purchase something, some mandatory fee that you must pay in exchange for being part of said company. Or if it's like a physical product MLM, you're having to pay for a starter kit, which is really just the means of disguising what is actually the cost of your recruitment, you paying to join the scheme. If you really wanted to make the analogy a one-to-one analogy, then these realtors would be having to not only pay for a house themselves to become a realtor, they would have had to keep paying each month for other shit relating to the house, like bills, and then they would have had to recruit other realtors who also bought a house, and that was where they got their commission from, and they would have never sold to anyone who genuinely wanted a house ever. Multi-level marketing. The words multi-level in the phrase multi-level marketing is also a disguise, because it's not multi-level, it's infinite level. And this is what's so frustrating to me when these companies try to say, we're not even multi-level marketing, we're just an insurance company. We just use an insurance agency model. No, they do not. Having your MLM company disguised as an insurance company is very clever for a multitude of reasons. Firstly, you actually do have to get a license from the government. Insurance as an industry is regulated. That does not mean that the specific base shop office of a World Financial Group or a PHP or a, can't say the name because of reasons, that specific office is not highly regulated.
This actually works a lot like it did in the subprime industry during the early 2000s. Back then, I was able to work as a loan officer, even though the person that had the license was my uncle-in-law. So basically, all you needed was one license for like 30 employees.
Secondly, when they say we have licenses, so there's no way that we're doing anything illegal, it's like saying there's no way that I was driving drunk. I have a government license to operate this vehicle, and driving is heavily regulated.
Do you think that you're not an MLM? You say, like, we are not an MLM. You don't think you're an MLM.
I'm going to give you your answer here in a minute, but I'm curious
Sure.
from your end what you think an MLM is. When you think about multi-level marketing, this is how my career got started. I think you need to know how the story of my career got started. Maybe that'll kind of put everything together. I'm in the army, I get out.
I'd have a beer with him, but I would put my wallet in my sock first. PBD has a PhD in talking for 3 hours while not saying anything. I actually don't know how a grown-ass man can knowingly and willingly spew bullshit and lies and answer questions with questions and then still sleep at night and then still look in the mirror and be like, yeah, that's what's up. I, for a long time, and still to this day, will posit my theory that the people at the very tops of MLM companies, whether these are the people who have made it to the top of the compensation plan as distributors, or the people who are actually running it from a corporate level, the CEOs and founders and so on, are psychopaths. Because when you are at that level, looking down on the rest of the pyramid, and you know how it works, you know the actual structure of it, you know the mechanisms in which you make money, predicated on the vast majority of people losing their money. How do you reconcile that without feeling such an overwhelming amount of guilt that you stop doing it?
The government is not set up in a way to allow scams to last for a long time.
Really, Bernie Madoff, 30 years, biggest Ponzi scheme, OneCoin, Ponzi scheme. FTX, Sam Bankman-Fried was cool with people in politics, was giving money to people in politics. There was an FTX arena, high-profile celebrities in advertising. The government is set up to do whatever for whoever is paying them. I want to show you the compensation plan for PHP, proof of what I was talking about earlier, the generational override. 7 layers deep. You would never see 7 different people getting paid commission on the same sale of a product or service in real estate, medicine, law, never, never, never. We all know there's this like principle. The degrees of separation between you and any other person on this planet is 5 people, meaning you know someone who knows someone who knows someone who knows someone who knows Oprah. That means that anytime you make a sale, you can rest assured that somebody probably in another part of the world who you never met and who you never will meet is getting paid off work that you did. This is so unsales, it's not even funny. Senior marketing director, executive marketing director. Another layer of deception that they add is the names. A company like Amway, you might be a diamond or a ruby or an amethyst. That doesn't sound as professional or legitimate as what you would have in PHP, where you're a marketing director. We're talking about an endless chain recruiting pyramid scheme and cult that is getting people in based on emotional promises of making millions of dollars and having generational wealth and taking care of their sick relatives' hospital bills. And tell me your why. What is your why? Don't you want to retire your dad? Don't you want to pay for your grandma's cancer medication? And on and on and on. They then disguise that by calling it something made up, multi-level marketing. This is a disguise because you're not marketing anything. Marketing implies that you are serving something to a market of people. What are they marketing? The opportunity, the endless chain recruiting promise. Don't you know about Patrick Bet-David? Look at his Instagram. He drives a Lambo, blah, 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 and on and on and on.
What if I told you that PBD didn't just sell hats and t-shirts, but that he's also expanded into the lemonade business? I remember my first lemonade stand. I think I was like 8. And the one thing I do remember is that I spent more money making the lemonade than I actually got back. Good times. So this former insurance broker turned TV celebrity who now sells hats, t-shirts, and lemonade while giving you the news. I mean, who could honestly ask for more? It's like a chef that also drives your car for you, or a cleaning lady that gives you massages. It's all so versatile and multi-tiered, isn't it? Before we wrap this up, I simply had to include this remix from 7 years ago that shows you the kind of guy PBD was before he learned to be so slick and polished.
And erections may last for the rest of your life. The world's gonna want to see your erections. I want an erection that lasts a lifetime. Why are people buying Viagra so much? Hey, the moment you put your uniform, everyone wants to have sex with you. And it's actually somewhat true. You have sex toys, sex toys, sex toy, sex toys. The sex toys, and then there's some extracurricular activities. You're prostituting products. You're becoming promiscuous with everybody. You want to sleep with everybody. It's a turnoff. It'll improve your sex life. Are people going to stop having sex and making babies? Oh, look, I got problems. She goes with everybody. She says whatever she do. Now, make a list of 3 girls in high school that had the reputation of being a, you know what? 2 of them are probably wrong. Maybe one of them is right. You know that. I know that. That girl's a, you know what? My wife and I have problems. Watch how many people are going to search right now. Sex toys, MLM.
So what do you guys think? Am I being too hard on PBD? Do I just not see the big picture? Or are my suspicions about him right, and he's basically just a glorified car salesman? To be honest with you, it's the guys like PBD that give me the biggest problems with capitalism. How it's guys like him that always rise to the top. He has $100 million, and he's still too busy trying to sell you overpriced hats and lemonade. And he's not here to educate you. He's not here to act as your moral compass. If that were true, he would be educating you on why not to buy those things that you don't need. He would instead be telling you what to invest your money into, what would profit you. That's what he would be doing. He wouldn't be looking out for his bottom line. Think about it. If he was such a great guy, wouldn't he be donating all of that money to something like a charity? Wouldn't he be benefiting mankind in some way with it? I don't know. He could open a charity with it, and he could operate it in a non-corrupt way, and he could be the leading example in the world for it. And then he could look people in the eye and be like, see, look, I am the leading example of the most legal charity in the world, and that's why I sell all this overpriced crap nobody needs. You see, I'm actually helping with this. I'm not just putting it in my bank account and making myself even richer with it. All right, that's the end of my rant. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Remember to like and subscribe, and please help me produce more content like this.